This is Yuhan Xu. I have been engaged as an external change management consultant for the elevation of Adelaide University merger and advising senior leadership to ensure suitable transition process and the long-term integration. This presentation offers a consulting perspective on the Adelaide University merger, taking a critical approach to why the change process is held in turmoil, rather than merely documenting events. It is a high-risk change initiative where integration has been prioritized over people. Carter's model helps to evaluate process failures, especially in leadership and timing, with educator identifying why people are not changing. Research shows change efforts fail if implementation does not account for behavioral realities while the strategy makes sense. This analysis focuses on pinpointing problems and solutions. The structure of the presentation initiates with diagnosis, drawing value from CAT model, moving towards stakeholders' experiences in line with ADKR model for determining resistance and risks. The presentation overall involves critical evaluation of models and the development of time-based strategic recommendations for allowing Adelaide University to ensure effective change execution. Adelaide merger is a great example of where structure has been prioritized over people, and a weak change environment has ensued. The top-down change process diminishes psychological ownership, important for commitment. Cultural differences also heighten resistance, as individuals feel their identity and status are threatened. Evidence indicates change efforts fail when organizations neglect the social and political aspects of change, and shorter time spans combined with cognitive overload, creating less organizational readiness to change. These are all contributing to the current crisis. This analysis combines two models to avoid the problems of using a single lens. CART offers an approach to assess the timing and implementation of the change process, but it is based on a tidy word that rarely exists in complex change initiatives. On the other hand, ADKR addresses individual change but falls short in addressing politics. The evidence indicates that the results of change are determined by the interplay between organizational systems and people's perception. A combination of the two approaches allows us to critique the challenges of this merger. The initial phases of the merger show lack of understanding of the true nature of urgency and leadership. Although urgency was established, it was done via external pressure rather than internal buy-in, which created compliance. The leadership structure also spilled responsibility, resulting in confusion. Research highlights the need for effective leadership to drive change efforts. Finally, the vision did not translate to clear behaviors, making it difficult to create a clear path for people to follow and align around. These shortcomings affect the change process. The Execution stage shows that the organization has started the implementation phases without putting in place the necessary conditions. Poor communication and the lack of clarity of roles and responsibility have led to heightened uncertainty, which reduces engagement. A lack of short-term wins has so undermined trust in the change process. The literature suggests initial wins are critical to keep progress going and minimize resistance. Meanwhile, excessive complexity has overwhelmed its ability to operate. These issues therefore put the measure at risk if not addressed now. The analysis below uses the ADKR framework to understand the individual experience of the merger for key stakeholders. What this case shows is that while organizational integration is underway, readiness for change is not, and that presents an issue of organizational events with adoption. Studies indicate change is only successful when individuals progress through all the ADKR stages, especially awareness and desire. Confusion and uncertainty have halted this progress in this case, leading to resistance. Research also verifies that confusion decreases readiness and trust in change, so communication is important. The merger is seen as a loss of identity and control by academic and professional staff. They comprehend the organizational need for change, but they are not psychologically engaged. Evidence suggests that the perception of staff loss and unfairness inhibits change. Further, rule uncertainty prevents employees from being able to adapt, even if they are willing to do so. This explains why, despite formal advances in organizational change, there is still resistance. Is felt by students as a disruption rather than a transition. This is an example of the psychological contract being broken, with perceptions of stability and fairness not being upheld. Judgments of contract breach lead to lower trust and satisfaction, especially in service industries like higher education. Further, lack of information decreases knowledge and adaptive capacity among students. Without support and direction, students are unlikely to become committed to the new university, contributing to reputational risk. Legitimacy and transparency are key concerns for trade unions and other stakeholders in the change process. Union resistance is concerned with employee welfare and injustice, which is identified as a barrier to change. Stakeholders such as industry and government partners need to trust the institution and its results. Inconsistent communication undermines legitimacy and trust. This implies that stakeholders are not opposed to the merger itself but the way it is being done. It is to be tailored to the needs of each stakeholder group, based on the identified ADKR gaps. For employees, this means minimizing uncertainty and promoting fairness through real clarity and involvement. For students, communication and academic pathways are key to restoring trust. Supporting readiness and engagement through tailored interventions is proved effective. Also, stakeholder participation boosts engagement and buy-in. These are essential to get stakeholders from compliance to commitment. The fourth focus is on making the organization as sustainable as possible before the launch by minimizing uncertainty and risk. Lacking rules and communication, stakeholders can engage in the change process. A central control mechanism provides focus and speedy decisions. Earning clarity and priorities are critical for sustaining momentum in a high-pressure change situation. What's more, decreasing uncertainty increases readiness and decreases resistance. The steps are designed to ensure the organization can operate and provide the minimal conditions for successful launch. The short-term strategy is about re-establishing trust and ensuring that the new organization can effectively execute. Success are important as they send positive signals and minimize uncertainty. An active listening strategy enables leaders to address problems promptly, enhance participation. Studies show that progress boosts commitment to change. What's more, employee engagement in the problem-solving process increases commitment and lowers resistance. These behaviors move the organization from chaos to operational legitimacy and trust. Sustainability is achieved by integrating the change into the culture rather than as a one-off event. The merger needs to become a new identity and culture that brings together the best of both worlds. Studies indicate that cultural alignment plays a key role in sustaining change and avoiding a return to previous behavior. Similarly, systems and incentives also help embed behaviors. In their absence, the organization may become fragmented and divided. So to achieve lasting change, there needs to be continuous reinforcement and alignment of culture, systems, and leadership. The two models offer important but limited insights into the merger. Coder provides a framework for diagnosing process issues, but his model assumes control and linear advancement, which is not evident in this case. Alternatively, indicator helps to explain individual resistance but not organizational power structures. It has been argued that change models oversimplify and need to be contextualized. This case study suggests a need to combine views to address both structural and behavioral issues. The final recommendation is that the new Vice Chancellor needs to focus on stability, legitimacy, and integration. Until stability and communication can be established, stakeholder trust will be low. This requires confidence through transparency and fairness, which will help overcome resistance and enhance engagement. Studies show that change can only be successful if the actions of the leadership aligns with the expectations of stakeholders. Furthermore, integration will need to be sustained through the reinforcement of values and processes. The key to the merger's success will be the successful execution of these priorities. Thank you for listening. This is my reference.